Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Knuston Farm, where today we are going mowing. I was intending on doing this after the harvest, but I wandered into one of the fields that I did remember to do all the processing on, and the nutrients, not the, well, the moisture is too high, but the nutrients are more or less what I want them to be. So we're going to try and get everything done with T7 today, because why not? Is that folded down? It is folded down, lovely. Let's do a big test of how low can you go. Low enough to work. Wonderfully brilliant, beautiful. So let's get actually, what are we okay, so I'm gonna go through what's going on here. So start off with nitrogen and pK. Nitrogen is times 5, which will give us a 100% yield. pK is at times 3, which will give us an 80% yield. The water, if I can find my pH is 7.2, which will give us about a 95% yield. However, 100% moisture will give us a 70% yield. So we're pretty good. We got no weeds because it's grass. So we're gonna get probably an 80 to 90% yield overall on the grass here. So we're good to go. I was intending, as I already said, to do this after the harvest, but I guess in a way it's more realistic to sort out your grassing stuff before harvest time. I've just noticed there seems to be a bit miss. Oh, never mind. I was going to say there's a bit missing from the field there, where I've apparently missed seeding. No, that's my tram lines. So in the previous episode we were taking care of the grass nutrients levels. Now you can see the soil pH is going a bit wonky in places. That's actually fine. That's somewhat intended. It's picking up from over to the left there, and kind of more centrally as well. So the pH isn't perfect. There is some alkalinity towards the center, and it's more neutral towards the edges here in general. If I press that, you can kind of get an idea of the area being scanned. The bright green you can see is the area that is perfect. The lighter area here is alkaline, and most of it's kind of neutral-ish. The lighter the green, the more alkaline, and then as it gets more acidic, it starts turning red. So white, I believe, is perfectly neutral, I think. I don't quite know what the things mean. There's our NPK levels, and there we go. So soil moisture is 100% because of all the rain that we got, which is a bit of a shame. It does, however, mean the grass will compost slightly better in a way, which is good for us. Now, I was going to kind of out of character for a second. I was going to swap out the forage wagon for the Mengele forage wagon, because that is more realistic. But right now, money just isn't there. So as soon as I can afford the Mengele, I will be getting the Mengele. Just for the sake of realism and having to buy blades and stuff. I'll be getting the silage additives, because I don't want to be making silage. I want to be making compost at the moment. And when the time comes to make silage, it's going to be fun because I've gone and done some fiddling with the silage clamps, which basically means we'll have to actually we won't be making full silage ever. Well, we will always be making full silage, but we will never be able to put all of our fields towards silage for the cows. Which, yes, I am planning on getting cows because that's free fertilizer. The manure is going to be turned into compost though, because I don't want to be fiddling around with a manure spreader until like I get an end game one where it's huge with a massive capacity. Realistically huge, mind you, but huge. I don't want to be fiddling around with the Marshall side spreader. No offense to Marshall, but I don't like it. So I know mowing isn't the most exciting thing in the world. I get that. I get that people don't like mowing their lawns. I actually kind of do. During the summer, there are times when I'm just bored and kind of aggravated by something. So what I'll do is I'll go out and I'll pull the lawnmower out of the shed and spend an hour or two mowing the lawns. And I think that's a really good way to just relax and forget about the problems you have and, things that are going on that are aggravating you, whether it be personal issues or just you're angry today for some reason and you don't even know why, but you're very angry. Honestly, mow a lawn. If it's the summertime and the lawn needs to be cut, go cut it. Because my god, that is relaxing. Until you turn the lawnmower off and the cat comes up to you because, hey, the lawnmower's off, I'm safe. And yes, my cat does do that. He has realised that when the lawnmower is on, he is in danger. When the lawnmower is off, he is not. When he is not in danger, he wants a rub. He wants attention, he wants his... I've turned off the mower there by mistake. He wants attention, he wants his head scratched, and he wants his chin scratched. He wants his ears scratched, and he wants his cheek scratched. He is a weird cat, but very, very, very fun to be around. Which reminds me, I should have fed him before I started doing this. Oops. I'll feed him when I finish doing the video. Hopefully nobody comes home in the meantime, because he will be screaming so loud and it will be painfully obvious that I didn't feed him. He's a cat that gets what he wants. When he's hungry, he makes sure we know he's hungry. He's a good cat though. He's an old cat, but he's a good cat. There are smart cats and there are young cats, and there's never both, to be perfectly honest. Two of the cats we have, I don't see getting living to be very old, shall we say. One's about 3 now, I think. And yes, I do have multiple cats. I am a crazy cat man. Although... Alright, here's the thing. And this is just something to talk about while I'm mowing, because... there's not a whole lot to talk about when mowing. With cats, I'm sure some of you who do have cats will know this. They can be very... Have I just done that entire... I've done that entire line with the mower up. I was wondering why I was hitting 30. Cats can be a bit odd at times. Especially if they don't know the person. But if you can build a rapport with a cat, and this is some really weird stuff, I know. You're talking about building a rapport with an animal. But if you can gain the trust of a cat, and you'll know when you gain the trust of a cat, they will actually approach you instead of shying away, etc, etc, etc. There are submissive stances they can take as well, like lying on their side or their back, and exposing themselves to you. He has a very submissive stance. But when you... I'm trying to think of the best way to kind of explain this. All the cats that we have here, they're strays. The main one, Tiger, and this is like completely out of character, but I'm going to pretend this is Knuston as well, or whatever. Tiger, the main cat that we have, the oldest one, we know who the owners are. The people who bought him originally, and we know where they live. And we did bring Tiger back to them a couple of times, but he keeps showing up here again because whatever. He's just decided we are his owners now. So the owner said we can keep him. So he is, I guess, our cat. But he's our cat, but he doesn't live in the house. He actually, and people are now going to say, oh, well, it's very bad for a cat to leave it outside all the time. It's very bad for a house cat. And for a cat that's not used to being outside. Tiger is decidedly not a house cat. He does enjoy being inside. Don't get me wrong, he enjoys being inside in the house and being warm and getting his attention and all that. But when he's done, when he's decided he's done, he wants to go out. He's got his attention, he's had his food, and he just wants to be himself again, in a way. He will go to the front door and he will just sit there and wait for somebody to leave him out. The other two cats, the white one and Sooty, because we're terrible at names, they are not as smart as Tiger by a long shot. They're very young still. The white cat actually, I'm trying to get this all correct now. Her mother was a cat we quasi-adopted, and she got pregnant and had litter kittens. Am I even correct in saying this? I think I am. The white cat was a cat we adopted, or the white cat's mother was a cat we kind of quasi-adopted and fed for a while. And she disappeared, and then when she reappeared, she had the white cat as a kitten. A very young kitten, so we couldn't not feed her. We couldn't not feed them, so we fed them. And the white cat's mother got pregnant again with another litter of kittens. And for those of you who don't know animals and don't know cats in particular, I have no idea what I'm having for internet issues. I apologise. For those of you who don't know animals and don't know cats, and it is particularly cats, you do not take kittens away from their mother, ever. That is one of the worst things you can do. Well, I have something open that shouldn't be open. No, it's probably the hot air balloon. I need to try and get rid of that or something. You never ever take kittens away from their mother. Just don't do it because it screws the kittens up. So, when the mother had her kittens, when they were 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks old, I hate to say this, we tricked the mother into coming into the house. We put her into a bag, we put the kittens into the same bag so they're all together. We didn't separate them at all, and we threw them in the river. No, we didn't. My parents, and I'm the same, we might not particularly like an animal. My mother, for example, is not a cat person. She prefers dogs by far. I'm kind of easygoing on that matter, so if you got a dog, well done. You got a cat, well done. I think cats are actually more loyal than people say. Dogs are ridiculously loyal. But we didn't throw. We brought the cats to, I think it was the local vet, and we brought them so that they can be rehomed. Ideally as a group. But we brought them to be rehomed. There was no way one of them was getting put down unless it was seriously ill, and not that kind of person. Anyway, the white cat, who we just call the mother at this point now, she was left behind. She was very, very cautious around people for a while after that, because it did screw her up a bit. She was scared of people, because I guess in her mind, we took the mother away and killed her or something. I don't know, but it did cause her some issues, and she got herself pregnant later on, and as a result, we started feeding her again, because animal cruelty is the most inhumane thing you can possibly do. It is disgusting. If you see a pregnant cat that's coming to you for food, you feed the cat. You give it, you get some cat food. If you don't have a cat already, you get some cat food. And you feed the cat for as long as, it takes. And you have to feed the kittens as well, which is kind of a whole different story. Yeah, it's the same story, you just have to be a bit more... That's a bit more fun. But the mother then had a litter of kittens. We believe it started off as a litter of 6. By the first time we saw the kittens, it was a litter of 5? Yeah, a litter of 5. And a few days later it was a litter of 4, unfortunately. And, that's nature taking its course. We were feeding the mother all through this period. We weren't being cruel, we were leaving them... We were actually... we actually prepared the shed for them, so that the mother could bring the kittens into the shed and have them somewhere dry and warm and safe, that they wouldn't get accosted by anybody, rather than us doing laundry. And they kind of knew that we weren't going to hurt them, which was the main thing. And the kittens started growing up and they started being a bit troublesome, particularly to neighbours who don't like cats, yet have a cat themselves. Keeping up with the Joneses is one of those people, Oh, they have a cat, we must have a cat now. I hate cats, but we must have a cat. And this neighbour was always kind of bitching to everyone about everything, but oh, those cats, they get everywhere, oh, nasty little vermin and all that. Then suddenly, 3 of the 4 remaining cats disappeared. The 3 we called them Ginger Socks and the Gremlin, because the Gremlin was a bit uglier than the rest and just looked weird in general. And I'd actually become quite attached to Socks, which was a real shame when they just up and disappeared one day. And my only hope is that they were brought to be rehomed, and not what I think happened. But Sooty and the mother, they're both quite good cats. They're a bit of a nuisance at times, particularly Sooty, because he is very young still and very friendly. So you could be particularly bad if you're trying to put stuff in the washing machine, which is in the shed out the back because we don't have enough room in the house. A particular nuisance because he gets it into his head that there's something magical in there and he absolutely has to see it. So, like I was doing the putting stuff into the washing machine a few weeks ago, and this is the joy of cats that have grown up around people. I'd still describe them as a stray, but these are stray in a way. Is that you can just grab them and lift them and place them somewhere. So I think over the course of loading the washing machine and loading the tumble dryer as well, I picked him up and placed him outside the shed 3 or 4 times. It wasn't a wet night. If it was a wet night, I would have like put some food in a bowl just inside the door of the house to get him out of the way. But he gets it into his head that he can climb into the washing machine. He wants to see everything going on. So, you know, you could be putting some clothes into the washing machine and he'll suddenly appear between your legs and go straight into the, straight up to the door, pause on the door and looking in. And of course that blocks you completely. But it's really kind of adorable to watch. Just this kid, because he is very trusting and a bit odd. I'm not an expert on cats, but don't they normally like hate getting their chests rubbed? A cat's chest, for reference, those of you who don't know cats, is the area between the front legs, the 2 front legs. Don't they normally like hate getting their chests rubbed? Because both Sooty and the mother absolutely freaking adore it. They both love it. They will like flip over onto the backs at random and splay their legs out and just go, rub me, scratch my chest. And I don't know why they do it, because I thought it was just some weird thing that one of the kittens had got into its head that is good because my sister was forcing them to do it, which is a very, very good idea. But the mother knew we were no. They all know that we're not in danger, which is good, and they just need to recognise us. So, it's always good to have animals recognise that you specifically are not in danger, but other people might be, because they will be, they'll be more likely to trust you if you need to do something with them. Say one of the cats got particularly badly injured, and we decided, you know what, the best thing to do is bring him to the vets and get this checked out. We could do that. We could just lift him up, put him into a box or something. Not like a closed box, but something that had air, an air system in it, because we don't actually have a cat carrier. A particular, the specific cat box. We could put them into something that they can breathe inside of, not just shove them in a box and suffocate them. No. We could do that if we needed to. And I know this has nothing to do with farming, by the way. It's just kind of, it's something to talk about. And I mentioned this already. Mowing is boring, so I'm going to talk about something that I am interested in. That effectively, and maybe might educate you as well. I don't know. But you probably notice this if you've got a dog. I think it's most obvious in dogs. Is that if you own a dog, they will not give a damn about you ever. They will just kind of come up to you and be like, "Hey, you're back. Wait, where's my food?" And then kind of forget about you after 20 minutes. If somebody new arrives, that is a completely different reaction. Oh, what's this? Depending on the dog's demeanor and personality, is, oh, what's this? Who's this? What are they doing here? Who are they? Is this a new friend? Or, oh, danger. But they won't ever think that about you. Apparently with me, most dogs' ideas are hump. I don't know why. It's kind of scary. But, dogs, I think it's most obvious in dogs. Cats will tend to shy away from people they don't know, in general. Whereas with people they do know, they'll come up and be friendly and whatnot. Tiger, I've started getting into a funny habit with Tiger, actually. Is I will kind of crouch down and hold the pouch of food, because we give him pouch cat food, it's easier. And I'll hold the pouch of food like I'm just about to open it, but not quite. And he'll just go into the friendliest mood you will ever see a cat in, and just start sniffing at your hand and about, bonking you with his nose and pretty much attacking you with his cheek out of sheer friendliness. And I know that's, marking territory and whatnot, but it is one of the ways you can tell a cat is being friendly or trying to. Is, this, you are mine. You are my friend. And, it's adorable to see a cat just getting really excited over food. And before Amy says, oh, that's cruel. I do feed him. He knows he is getting fed. That is why he is so friendly. He knows what the sachets pouches look like. I call them sachets. He knows what the pouches look like. He knows that they contain food. He knows that if he sees one, odds are 99.9% of the time he's getting fed. The other 0.1% of the time, we're probably after feeding him already and we're trying to get him out of the house. And, it's... I don't know why I'm talking about cats. Hey, why not? So back to business on the farm. I think the next video is also probably going to be mowing, because we do have 2 other fields that have relative... I'm actually going to mow all the fields. That's it. I'm going to mow all the fields. And I know one of them, on the other side of the railway system, or the railway line, that doesn't have particularly good nutrients. However, I want to get the grass off it just for the sake of getting the grass off it, and I can work on the nutrients afterwards. Now the plan, this is the plan at least, I don't know how it's going to go. The plan is, and I'm actually going to check something real quick, I've just realised I need to do this. Right in here, times 7 times 6. That may not particularly be a good thing. I think I've overdone it with nutrients on the canola crop, which means I've probably overdone it with nutrients on the beet crop as well. Not going to kill him, but it's going to mean we're going to get a bit less yield, unfortunately. I got overzealous with the PK. Which is fine, because next time around I can just do one NPK application, then throw on some nitrogen and probably some lime after that. That's even assuming they need lime, and it'll probably be mainly pellets I'll be using. So I can start working on nutrients for the next crop as soon as this crop is done. Just basically because I need to get pellets in. I want to use pellets to get the moisture down, and I know I'm going to need to spray herbicide, which means I'll be upping the soil moisture by a level as well. So it's all about... I know many people out of character. Many people use spreadsheets with soil mod. I try and do it all in my head, and that's probably not the best idea. But hopefully I had more turned up there. I did. I know that a lot of people do use spreadsheets and stuff with soil mod. I don't. I'm one of those people who just go, well, this needs to be done. Hopefully I can get it right. And I think I might have to start using some sort of spreadsheet or whiteboard or just notebook where I try and work out what actually needs to be done here to get the soil moisture up to the right levels on any given day. Because right now I'm kind of hit and miss with it. And it is a lot of guesswork. I just realised the PK in the middle of the field, actually for the majority of the field, is ×2, which means it's even lower yield than I expected. But the pH is still about 95% yield. Soil moisture is at 70. Nitrogen is perfect. Absolutely perfect nitrogen levels there. That's just PK that I'm screwing up on, because PK is... the PK, I think, is the hardest to manage. And my phone's just gone off for some reason. Luckily, it's in my pocket today, which means you didn't hear it. I just felt it. That's probably a friend sending me a text, which is unusual, but that's been happening a lot lately. Yesterday, in particular. Good lord, yesterday was anomalous for me. All I'll say is yesterday was more popular than I have been in, well, the rest of this year combined. So that's field... well, I'll call this meadow 1, I guess. Why don't you want to... Oh, you were folding up, I just couldn't see it. So let's head down to the next meadow, and the next meadow is going to be down by field 7? Yeah, field 7. And we're going to washing machine our way down there as fast as we possibly can. I think that's the best description for this, the way this thing reacts to the bumps on the road here at top speed is just washing machine. Because I think if you fill this thing with water and some soap, you get a pretty good wash out of it. So I think, actually, out of character again, I'm going to talk about mods. Mods, because of the all-conquering modless. The all-conquering moddingness that is going on. I have the Office Manager mod, I think it's called. And what that does is it takes money out of the account based on profits of the previous day. What it also does is it kind of, I think I've mentioned this already, it kind of makes it impossible to progress on a map this size with just crops, which is why I'm doing so much so much work on the... I'm going to continue on for a minute actually. It's why I'm doing so much with compost. This is my attempt at trying to make a profit. A soil mod does negate a bit of it, yes, because yeah, it is. For those of you who don't play with soil mod, number one, depending on your playstyle, probably a good idea, depending on the map as well. But number two, it means that everything is far more expensive. And yes, I'm doing a funky headland here just because I can. It means that everything is more expensive. You know, fertilizing takes 3 or 4 passes, and the actual sprays and pellets are a lot more expensive. And I need to find a water source just in case I do need to actually do water. And actually do a water treatment on a field at some point. But right now, I think I'm good for I think I'm good for more or less everything right now. But it's the finance office mod I've just remembered. That takes a certain percentage, I think it's about 1/3 of the money you made, and it just eats it. Gone forever because taxes. Just, you know, it's fine. But when you're putting probably another 1/3 again, if not more, into soil mod, and maybe a 1/4 or so into vehicle maintenance, the money dries up very, very quickly, which is why I'm constantly operating in debt. Luckily, deal with the deal with the bank means I've got a bit of time to play with, and I'm going to use that to. I'm going to store up the crops that I grow, but the compost is going to be sold a lot. It's going to. That's actually going to be my main focus until I get some animals on the run, or on the go, because until I get animals, I'm pretty much operating at a loss. Because it's so very difficult to keep crops growing and keep equipment running, and make a profit with the mods that I'm running. Especially when, you know, it takes 3 or 4 days to get a crop, and you'll be paying maintenance all those days. Yeah, kind of negates all the money you make. Especially with the equipment I have, which is quite high maintenance. And I'm hoping, this is why I'm working on compost at the moment, is I think okay, I'm going to go through the next bunch of things I want to buy, because there's a bunch. First off is going to be a bigger cultivator. The plough I think is about the right size, because I won't be ploughing all that much. It's going to be once every 2 or 3 harvests I plough. So the plough I have right now is fine for the fields that I have. Next, after the bigger cultivator, because I will be cultivating before I seed every time, just breaking down compaction and whatnot. Next up is going to be a bigger seeder, because the one that I have is quite small, and the next point is going to kind of prove that right. After a bigger seeder, I'm going to keep the harvester I have at the moment. After a bigger seeder, the next item on the agenda is field 2 or field 6, or, you know, another field in general. I want to open up avenues to get more grass, and there is a sort of grass seed. I know that's not particularly realistic. There is a seed for what's called dry grass in soil mod. What it is, it's a grass that keeps the seeded texture underneath it, so you can just cultivate it under. You know, when you're done, when you want to convert the field back into normal crops. And I want to get a field specifically for that grass, because number one, it's going to be more grass, which means more compost, which means more money. But number two, means we'll have a field that we can use for crops in the future when we get bigger equipment. And once we get a bigger plough and a bigger harvester, we will be swapping the compost grass field into a crop field, and we will start moving our focus onto animals, as the trade passes right now. We'll be moving our focus onto animals in the nearish future. Not immediately after this harvest, but that's going to be our aim, is to get some cows on the go. They might be the most high maintenance, but also the most profitable, especially if I were to fiddle with some stuff, which I'm not going to do. I could fiddle with multipliers and stuff, but I'm not going to. But one thing we will need for cows is some form of forage harvester, which we don't currently have. Now, I could rent one if I had the correct mods installed, obviously. I could rent one, which is an option. I'm going to try and not take that, but if it gets to the point where I just don't have the money for a forage harvester permanently, I will be renting it temporarily until, you know, the cows are good enough. And I will probably have a tractor pretty much dedicated to animal work, because right now, well, because number one, I'll need a tractor specifically to compact the pit and compress the pit because that I've got the far side of mod installed. It's far side. Yeah, far zero extension. What that does is it makes silage production more realistic. It means you actually have to chaff your grass, I believe. Unless they change that in the more recent version. To my knowledge, you actually have to chaff grass. You can't just throw grass in there and hope for the best. Which is, I'm perfectly fine with that, to be honest. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it here. Because it's been just over 40 minutes, apparently. And I have to do a lot of other things today. Oh boy. I have a lot of stuff to do. You guys don't know. Oh god. It's gonna be a fun day for me. I'll put it that way. And today is Friday. I'll be recording the 2-hour segment that I'll compress to half an hour. Yes. It does actually take me 2 hours to do all the stuff that I did. That I do in the sped up half-hour video. Or thereabouts. I sometimes make it just over half an hour to get the music. I think I might commentate that one this week. It takes me just over 2 hours to record that. 2.5 if I end up deciding to do a commentary track. Which is fun. I'm not gonna say. It lets me do what would be off-camera work. On camera. And that's the entire point of it. And yes, I am returning to the Cobra Farm method of everything is going to be done on camera because I am pushing myself for time as it is. So I'm going to have to make some cutbacks. So anyway, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to actually finish off this headland in this video from there the next one. I'm going to leave it here-ish. Thank you all very, very, very much for watching. It does mean a lot to see the number of views I'm getting on any given video. And how quickly they come in, good lord. I'm not one of those people who's just like, oh, I get views on me. It does mean a lot to me. It does genuinely excite me and it annoys my friends when I get really excited over a video doing well. Because I do have friends offline, kind of. I have people that I used to live near but don't anymore. I used to live with, don't anymore actually. But they get kind of annoyed when I start nattering on about my channel. So I natter on about it a lot and annoy them a lot. I don't mean like that. But yeah, I've got to try and... I've got to start doing my push for Christmas in terms of videos, because I want to start getting far enough ahead that I can take a short break at Christmas from YouTube. It's just kind of my way of having a Christmas break. You won't see any break in videos, hopefully, unless my computer explodes again, in which case possibly, or something else crops up, which is likely. But I'm hoping to get a Christmas break again this year for myself. That'll be 1 or 2 days where I don't need to think about YouTube. It just kind of happens in the background. So there might be a few days where if you make a comment I just won't reply because I'm either gearing up for that break or already taking it. The break will be around Christmas Day. If you comment on Christmas Day, don't expect a reply because I won't be online at all. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you all very much for watching. I will see you next time when we'll be mowing again. Surprise! Until then, stay safe and goodbye.